What I love about skin is that skin is truly the biggest and largest organ of our body. So as a dermatologist, not only I can visualize what's happening on the skin, but I also appreciate that biologically it's really the most important part of our body. I mean, of course, I'm biased. What does skin do? Okay, so number one, it protects our body from environmental insults as well as environmental contamination, pollution, as well as infection. So skin really is our first barrier that we need to survive in this world. Without our skin, if our skin is compromised, we're more prone to infection, we're more prone to allergy, we're more prone to chemical reactions. We need our skin to survive and to live a healthy life. Our skin acts as a barrier is because the skin cells, which are called keratinocytes, they're layered in such a way that we have a top layer of the skin that's called stratum corneum. They're tiny, tiny flakes of keratinocytes that are flattened out. And then a little bit deeper, we have stratum granulosa, which are larger keratinocytes. They kind of stack on top of each other like literally bricks in a wall. And why is that important to visualize? It is because when you imagine a wall, like a barrier, a physical barrier, there are bricks and there are spaces in between the bricks. This is where things may happen, things may go wrong with our skin. So pollutions, chemicals may seep through between the skin cells. Barrier function is really what we need to live a healthy life. And the contact with environment, with other chemicals is really something that we don't even think about every day just because we take our skin for granted a lot of times. So there are three main ways of topical skincare active ingredients go through our skin, so to speak. The first or the most common channel is for the active ingredient molecules to penetrate through the spaces in between the keratinocytes. So these spaces are very small, they're narrow, so only certain sized molecules can actually go through between the cells. So that's what we call intercellular penetration. And then secondly, the active ingredient may be able to bind to receptors on each keratinocyte, so each cellular component of our skin. That is called intracellular absorption. And then lastly, active ingredients may even go through our hair follicles. So the hair follicles are tiny openings on our skin where there's maybe either a coarse hair coming out or little peach fuzz coming out. Hair follicles are much bigger openings on our skin that certain active ingredients can go through much faster through hair follicles rather than in between or within the cells. So these are the top three main routes of penetration of topical active ingredients when you use a skincare product. So let's talk about a few of my favorite technologies where transformation are happening and molecules are modified so you get better, more efficient delivery system. So first, let's talk about liposomal packaging. So liposomal packaging is a way to modify hydrophobic or lipid-rich molecules. So these are the molecules that are like fat. So you know how you can't really mix oil and water? So it turns out that when a molecule is very rich in fat, it can get pushed away by the hydration that you see on your normal skin cells. So liposomal packaging is a very smart way of turn these molecules that are lipophilic, meaning they like fat, they don't like water, they repel water, in such a way that they can actually melt through the skin rather than being repelled by the skin. So oil and water don't mix, but liposomal packaging makes it a lot better environment for a fatty molecule to go through the skin and for you to have results faster. So even though we love retinol as the gold standard in anti-aging, not everyone can tolerate retinol for a lot of reasons. Number one, it has a lot of irritation, it can produce inflammation, and then secondly, retinol can retinol has a short half-life. So through technology or tricks such as microencapsulation or retinol molecular film technology, retinol molecules can be packaged in a way that it can actually go through the skin cells without releasing the active ingredient. So that's microencapsulation. It's almost like putting a coat on the retinol, and the retinol molecule escapes through the skin, gets absorbed, but not releasing this active mechanism of action until it actually gets to the bottom layer of the skin. So that's microencapsulation. Or you can have the molecular film technology where the retinol penetrates through but gets released slowly over time. So in a way that you don't get that blast of retinol action right away, and then you also get less irritation on longer active effects of the topical retinol. So these two technologies really have helped and transformed the whole retinol aspect of the beauty industry because they allow retinol to be more tolerable and more longer acting, and consumers and clients will have usually less irritation when the technology is used to deliver retinol at a more efficient and more safer way of mechanism of action. So hydrogel is another delivery technology that has really evolutionized skincare industry. Hydrogel uses molecules that will actually turn a gel into a very almost like a watery consistency right away. So they're like hydrators and moisturizers, but they feel very light. But not only it enhances the texture and sensorial experience of using a topical skincare product using hydrogel. Hydrogel delivery system also help to minimize irritation, because hydrogel technology usually has tiny small molecules of hyaluronic acid along the way, so that keep your skin hydrated, and it helps the active ingredients to be more pH balanced, and it can penetrate the skin with less irritation. So as a regular consumer, these delivery systems may be very confusing. But actually they're pretty simple. What you really have to keep in mind is that you want to get the best results in the shortest amount of time, and there are limitations to certain active ingredients that prevent you to get fast results, because you either A, you're very prone to irritation, or B, that active ingredient may just be too big for your skin to absorb or too oily for your skin to absorb. So the delivery systems are really meant for you to get fast results with minimal irritation. And as a consumer, it's also probably a good idea to kind of educate yourselves on synergistic effects between certain ingredients. For example, retinol is a great exfoliator. So when you use retinol, your skin turnover rate is a little bit faster. Your skin is more regulated, so your skin actually absorbs active ingredients a little bit more effectively. This is why when you use retinol, you may actually be able to see results from your topical alpha or hydroxy acid peels a little bit faster. But at the same time, as I always tell my clients and my patients, balance the key, because when you're using retinol and you pile on a patch with alpha and beta hydroxy acids, you may get more irritation. So there are synergistic reactions or actions between different types of skincare regimen, but at the same time, you need to also be aware of potential more irritation if you do a little bit too much of everything.